Reset San Francisco is an online community where we are bringing ideas and bringing information to the public. Our belief is that San Francisco works best when people have more say. And at this point, only a couple hundred people in San Francisco really have a lot of say versus hundreds of thousands of people. And our goal is to have information empower hundreds of thousands of San Franciscans, primarily through our Reset San Francisco community. And what we've been doing is posting information about Muni, about open government, about public safety, about anything you could think of, public works, the environment, tax policy. And we're so excited to hear about the response. We are actually getting more web hits now than sfgov.org. In fact, we got over 110,000 unique visits this last month alone. We have 9,000 followers on Facebook, and we're growing every single day. And it's amazing when you give content that people find valuable, people respond, and they give the most important thing, which is their time. And quite often what we realize is we're trying to demystify this whole government process because there's not information out there. We do a very poor job as the city giving people information about how government run, how the money is spent. We just did a press conference with California Common Sense, which is actually going to analyze our city expenditures and also help analyze our performance measures. And it's so exciting to do that in a way that people could just go on there and very quickly understand how we're doing in public safety, how we're doing in transit, how we're doing in health and human services. Well, Muni is one of our central issues. In fact, we did a Muni Reform Town Hall 2 weeks ago where we had almost 300 people come out, most of whom I didn't know, most of whom who are writers of Muni every single day. And we organized them by bus lines, talked with staff from the MTA, talked with people to really get an understanding of what their issues are. And it was so interesting to me, while people are still not very satisfied with Muni, they are very dedicated to Muni because they rely on Muni to get from point A to point B every single day. So they are so invested to make Muni better. And many of the ideas that were presented, all-door boarding was just passed by the MTA Commission. So you could board not just to the front door, but also to the back door, now that we have clipper card technology. One person stood up and talked about a sign that says, hey, for the buses, please step down to get off the bus. Because as you know, the bus doors won't open unless you've actually stepped down onto the stairwell. But if you look at, most buses don't have a sign, so how would you know if you've never ridden the bus? So we actually, in our Reset community, designed a sign that we are going to pitch to the MTA to see if they want to take it and use it and put it in their buses. So really the ultimate goal of Reset San Francisco is to offer ideas and solutions today. Most mayoral candidates talk about what they're going to do in January, what they're going to do somewhere down the road. We don't think you need to wait. We believe there are problems to solve today, and the problems that need solving just can't wait. And Muni obviously being one of them. Hundreds of thousands of people are affected by Muni every single day. Can they really wait 3 more months, or can they really wait 6 more months or a year before things start happening? We actually have a transit effectiveness project that was passed in 2007. We spent over $3 million in analyzing it, and what's great is for the first time ever, we actually have a list of most of Muni's problems. And what's even better is we actually have a list of most of Muni's solutions. But the problem is we actually haven't seen any action. There's been a complete lack of leadership and a lack of guts. One of the main recommendations, which is a very challenging recommendation I would add, is we need to have fewer bus stops. Because if we can have fewer bus stops, Muni will run faster. If Muni can run faster, if a bus line can run faster, like 5 minutes faster, it's like adding 20% more buses on the same line. If we can get every single bus line in the city, all 100 bus lines in the city, just to go 1 minute faster, that would save $20 million. And the reason $20 million is important is that's the exact size of the Muni deficit. And people say, well, how would you save $20 million? Well, one of the main reasons is you would be doing less overtime. If you had drivers be able to complete routes or to do more routes in their 8 hours, you don't need to pay as much overtime, which would save a huge amount of money. So really, it's about taking that transit effectiveness project that the city's already done and start implementing it. Many of these are really good ideas. Again, we don't need 2 bus stops on a single block. We do need rail lines that are timed with stoplights. We need dedicated traffic lanes. We need all-door busing so you can bus not just through the front door but through the back door. We need to make sure the clipper card technology really works so people can get on and off the bus easily. Again, if we could just save a minute, that's just boarding the bus faster. That's all it is. And potentially fewer stops. So again, if we can do that, that would save Muni over $20 million. And I think really what we need is we need leadership to make that happen. Because we actually tried to pilot reducing bus lines and reducing bus stops. And people were very, very upset because I think frankly they weren't really presented the whole story about how important it was for the entire city. Well, the most important issue about any transit system is reliability. Is the vehicle going to be there when they say it's going to be there, and will it get me to the place on time? So right now, the ways that we can address it again are by implementing that transit effectiveness project. We also need to make sure we are rebuilding morale in the department. We obviously have a pretty significant rift between management and many of the staff, and I think it's not very helpful when you have different divisions in the same office going in different directions. And I think it's so important that people understand perspectives. I know that the Muni bus drivers get a lot of grief. And some of it may be warranted, others of it may not be. I think driving a bus through San Francisco, I think driving in San Francisco is very challenging by itself. Driving a bus in San Francisco, I can only imagine how hard and how stressful it is, especially late at night. So I think it's really important that both sides, and in fact the public, understand all sides. And I think it's really easy to scapegoat one group of people, but I really find it difficult to believe that that one group of people really is where the problem is. I think the problem is organizationally. I think organizationally that they're going in many different directions, and I think you have to be able to get everyone on the same page and all move together. And I think, again, what's great is you have this transit effectiveness project. You have a lot of proposals that are in there that make a lot of sense. Again, fewer bus stops, time stoplights, cut out traffic lanes, all-door busing, making sure we have a dedicated funding stream. For us, we've talked about eliminating the Muni work orders. Work orders are other departments taking money from Muni. It used to be $30 million in work orders, now it's $60 million in work orders, and it doesn't really make sense. We actually give more money to Muni than it really goes to other departments. So it's actually a way for other departments to increase their funding because Muni gets more money. So I think that's really fair. We need to make sure that we save the money for transit and leave it at transit. And so I think we need to make sure that we really restrict those work orders unless they're absolutely 100% necessary.